They want a mic check. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing mic check for Wesh. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
everyone ready? Good morning. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Natalie Jackson and Attorney Paul Grinke and Attorney Aaron Deacle. We have the honor and the privilege of representing the family of Kevin Rodriguez Zavala. We have with us this morning his mother and father, Ana and Carlos, who you will hear from today, as well as his brother and sister-in-law, Veronica and Michael. You will also, Attorney Grinke and Attorney Jackson may answer some questions with us. Also present with us is his girlfriend, Javalise, and her mother, Liz. Let me start this press conference off with reminding you all, after this tragedy, before we had our first press conference, the president of Universal Epic put out some statement to her team members after the tragedy. And in large part, she says safety is and always will be at the forefront of everything we do. Well, Universal, these words ring hollow in light of you reopening the Stardust coaster this weekend without giving Kevin's families any answers whatsoever to why he was killed on your roller coaster. Not having our experts be able to inspect the roller coaster that killed Kevin. Not having the investigations be completed as to what killed Kevin. But yet, you open up this ride. You open up this ride. And it has Kevin family asking the questions. Are they putting profit over people? Are they putting profits over my son's life? And I have to say to the family, it's a fair question. It is a fair question. Because when you put out very appropriate statements, like saying safety is and always will be at the forefront of everything we do, I am reminded of when I was a little boy. My grandmother taught me I'd rather see a sermon than hear one any day of the week. That your words speak, your actions speak so loud that we need not hear Universal tell us how much they think safety is the utmost important. Because their actions in reopening this ride does not suggest that safety is at the forefront of everything they do. The family was very disappointed that they reopened this ride while we were trying to set up the inspections. Almost like a thief in the night when it said on a Friday afternoon, we're opening the ride tomorrow. You know when the family found out that the ride was going to be reopened? When you all found out the ride was going to be opened. I mean, they feel it was the ultimate disrespect. Not only for them, not only for the community, but for the tragic loss of Kevin. Ultimate disrespect to Kevin's memory to do this. You know, we're here today because Universal has reopened the Stardust Racer roller coaster, and the family believes it's reopening this ride now is so premature. It's so deeply disturbing because they haven't gotten any answers. They haven't gotten any answers, and that's all they've been asking for from day one. It's over 2 weeks now, and still not the answer one as to why Kevin is dead. When Kevin was provided a transfer seat by Universal employees and allowed on the Stardust Racer roller coaster, Kevin believed he was safe. He believed that because of Universal's actions, they were telling him he was safe. Kevin trusted Universal. He trusted them assisting him on the ride. He trusted the process. He trusted the training of Universal employees to keep him safe and out of harm's way. Kevin trusted the Universal officials, and that trust ended up being a death sentence for Kevin Rodriguez Zavala. And I'm trying to get through my part so you can hear from his parents. But we want to address this announcement, was it on Sunday, about the change in policy? Saturday? The weekend? The change in policy? You know, Universal Studios, this multi-billion-dollar corporation, with all kinds of safety experts, all kinds of design experts. You mean to tell me that they did not arrive at the conclusion that this ride was not safe for disabled people that were bound to a wheelchair until after Kevin was dead? Is that what they're trying to get us to believe? That they had this epiphany that, oh, because Kevin dead, the design should not allow disabled citizens, disabled persons to ride the roller coaster. This change of policy should have been the policy before Kevin got on the ride. His girlfriend and they did everything they were supposed to do. They read instructions, anything that had warnings or restrictions, they wouldn't get on those roller coasters. Kevin had rolled on roller coasters over 100 times. And he was safe on every roller coaster he rode on, Universal, Epic, until he was killed on your roller coaster. Until he was killed on your roller coaster. Kevin was a highly intelligent, independent, living young man. He understood everything about his limitations. His family and he were very, very clear on things he could do and what he couldn't do. They did everything that they were supposed to do that day. They trusted Universal was the only thing he did wrong. He trusted Universal. This change in policy is like, I don't know. Really, when you think about this change of policy, it's a day late, a dollar short. It's like giving a death row pardon 10 minutes too late, Universal. It shouldn't be after somebody is killed that you go over your safety protocols, that you examine your design of the roller coaster. No, that is supposed to happen to prevent a tragedy like this. And as we said before, people had said that they had got injured on this ride, that the restraints were not appropriate because they had gotten injured. And I get it. They keep saying over and over again, but there were no malfunctions. That doesn't mean that there were no safety issues. Because if there were no safety issues, Anna and Carlos's son would still be living today. And that's the crux of the matter, Universal. That's the crux of the matter. You all have the responsibility of his death at your feet. And you can't go on with business as usual, trying to sweep it under the rug and think that people are not going to have humanity for what Anna and Carlos and their entire family are going through. And just to say, before I introduce them, what quality of people they are, they keep talking about the loss of Kevin, but they all keep saying Attorney Crump and Attorney Grinke, Attorney Jackson. What if it happens again to somebody else? We don't want it to happen to anybody else's child. Mm-hmm. We got the email from the lady talking about how she hit her head. We know that other people were complaining, and that didn't make them change anything. How can we make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else's child? That's what this is about. That's what this is about, Universal Studios. To all the executives, it's about safety of our children. Hopefully, you would think about our children like you think about your children. And then maybe you won't be so quick to reopen a ride because you need to worry about the bottom line. No, it's about human life. Mm-hmm. Human life has to matter for something. At this time, you're going to hear from his parents, starting with his father, Carlos, who's going to have his children assist him because he's a little under the weather this morning, but he's going to stand with you with his children as they give you their statement in response to Universal reopening the ride. Mr. Collins. Mr. Collins, you want to stand with me?
Good morning. My name is Veronica Colazo. I am Kevin Rodriguez's sister-in-law. I will be reading a letter that my father-in-law wrote because his voice is a little under the weather. My name is Carlos Rodriguez Ortiz. I am Kevin's father. On the night Kevin died, he trusted Universal. That trust cost him his life. Universal said that safety is the most important thing. Yet they reopened the ride this weekend without having all of the investigations complete. To me, this is not putting safety first. This is not right. I say to the officials at Universal, until you do right, Kevin's blood is on your hands. He trusted its employees and the safety bar that was supposed to protect him. We learned that after Universal provided a wheelchair transfer seat to Kevin to get onto the ride, it took a Universal employee 4 tries at closing the lap bar to get the green light that Kevin's seat restraint was secured. The green light was given only after the employee forcefully pushed down the restraint on the 4th attempt. Kevin did nothing wrong. He reviewed the warnings before getting on the roller coaster, like he always did anytime he rode on the roller coaster. He placed his trust in Universal and its employees not to let him board on a ride if it was dangerous for him. He believed he was safe because Universal's actions told him that he was safe. We can't get Kevin back, but we can speak up to make sure no one else loses their life this way. My son was killed just 2 weeks ago, and we still have no answers. Yet they reopened the ride as if his life didn't matter and his death wasn't worth answering for. We're not here to tear Universal down. We're here to lift safety standards up. We're not against Universal, and we know people love the theme parks because Kevin loved them. We just believe that every guest deserves to feel safe, no matter who they are or whether they walk or even roll. When something this tragic happens, the right thing to do is stop, look closely, and fix what went wrong, not move on as if nothing happened. We're asking Universal to let our experts inspect the ride, to be transparent, and to work together to make every ride safer. Everyone deserves to enjoy these parks and come home safely. That's all we're asking for. Kevin was the heart of our family. He was strong, independent, and capable, even with his lifelong disability. He never let it define him, and he lived fully, joyfully, and bravely. Thank you.
And that's so critically important, every word she said. Now you will hear from his mother, Anna, and she is, I don't think she'll need a translator, but okay, you're gonna read it in English, okay.
Mi nombre es Ana Zavala y soy la madre de Kevin. Kevin nació el 5 de julio de 1993. Tan solo tenía 32 años cuando se nos fue arrebatado. Kevin estaba lleno de vida, de alegría y de amor. A los dos nos encantaba montarnos en las montañas rusas. Compartíamos esta emoción en adrenalina, nos hacía sentir vivos y libres. Uno de de mis fotos favoritas de nosotros dos era cuando montábamos la montaña rusa y sonriendo con manos al aire libre. Pero ahora esta foto es demasiado dolorosa para mirar porque me recuerda cómo murió. Esa noche cuando Kevin fue a Universal, él le confió en que la montaña rusa era segura. Confió en sus empleados que lo ayudaban. Esa confianza le costó la vida. Desde esa noche nuestras vidas no han sido las mismas. No pasa un solo día en que pensemos en él, en su sonrisa, su voz, su bondad. Cuando supimos que Universal abrió la montaña rusa, se nos rompió el corazón. Fue como perderlo otra vez. ¿Cómo pueden abrirla si todavía hoy no tenemos respuestas? Antes de que nuestros propios expertos puedan investigarla. No estamos pidiendo que la cierren por siempre, solo pedimos que se haga segura porque no queremos que otra familia tenga que pasar por lo mismo que estamos pasando nosotros. Sigo dando vueltas en mi cama todas las noches, intentando entender por qué no creen que la vida de mi hijo es importante. Si fueran sus hijos, ¿no creen que hubiera abierto la montaña rusa tan rápido? Amo a mi hijo tanto como ellos aman a sus hijos. La persona que esté tomando la decisión de priorizar las ganancias sobre la seguridad, que Dios tenga piedad de su alma. Gracias, es todo.
I will be reading her statement in English. My name is Ana Zavala, and I am Kevin's mother. Kevin was born on July 5th, 1993. He was just 32 years old when he was taken away from us. Kevin was full of life, laughter, and love. Riding roller coasters was something we both loved to do together. We shared that thrill and exhilaration. It made him and I feel alive and free. One of my favorite photos of us is on a roller coaster. Both of us smiling, his hands in the air. But now, that photo is too painful to look at because it reminds me of how he died. When Kevin went to Universal that night, he trusted that the ride was safe. He trusted the employees who helped him. That trust cost him his life. Since that night, our lives have not been the same. There isn't a day that goes by that we don't think about him. His smile, his voice, his kindness. When we learned Universal had reopened the ride, we were heartbroken. It felt like losing him all over again. How can the ride be open before we even have answers about what went wrong? Before our own experts can even take a look at it? We're not asking them to close it forever. We're asking them for answers and to make it safe, because we do not want another family to go through what we are all going through. I continue to toss and turn at night, trying to figure out why they don't think my son's life mattered. If this were their children, I don't think they would have opened up this ride so quickly. I love my son just as much as they love their children. Whoever is making the decision to put profit over people and their safety, may God have mercy on your soul.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to his very brave parents, his heartbroken parents, his determined parents to get answers and to get accountability. Universal has a responsibility not just to Kevin's family, but to every family who visits the parks to ensure its rides are safe for all guests. Y'all, this is an issue that goes so far beyond Kevin's family. I mean, there are theme parks all across America, all across the world, but they are a major part of the Central Florida community. And we have to tell Universal together that this is an important matter, that it shouldn't just be about the bottom line, because they reopened this ride this weekend and we saw a person who was interviewed saying they had to shut down the ride again because they were having problems with closing the device, closing the restraint. I mean, that's time they reopen it. They still having problems with it. Y'all, we have to make sure this ride is safe. If we don't, we're going to be back here again with another family or another citizen complaining about how they were injured on this ride. This is real. This is an issue that is so important for Central Florida, so important for the state of Florida and America. It's so important, y'all. So very important. I think about, they opened the ride, they had some issues. We know from the lawsuit, even before the ride officially opened in May, when they had people pre-riding, that they had safety issues. I mean, how many more times, Universal, before you say we're going to live up to our words? These words that safety is and always will be at the forefront of everything we do. That's what Kevin's family think when you put those words on writing. It doesn't mean anything if your actions don't match your words, Universal. Kevin Rodriguez Zavala, life matters. I agree with his father and mother. They want every night those officials go to sleep at night to see their son's face. They want them to see Kevin's face, this young man who was so full of life. His life lost on your roller coaster because y'all didn't get the safety issues right. That y'all came and tried to change the warnings after it was too late, after Kevin was dead and gone. This is real, Universal. You all got to make it right. I agree with Mr. Carlos. The blood is on your hands until you make this right, till you make this ride safe, till you make sure you do right by Kevin's family. This is very important. You can't sweep it under the rug. It won't be business as usual. So, if you all have any questions, we'll try to take a few. Obviously, it's a very emotional time.
You've suggested that you and the family should have had access to the roller coaster before it reopened. Why did you not go to the courthouse a couple blocks from here to try to get an injunction?
Because we trusted Universal. We trusted Universal, and like Kevin, trust was betrayed. Apparently ours was too. We thought we were going to get to investigate, our experts were going to get to investigate before they open back up. They told us that we're going to do that.
Yeah. The timing and the manner that they reopened that ride with no notice to us, not one phone call, no communication, and the late Friday afternoon, the way that we found out, made it very difficult, and that was on purpose.
Utmost disrespect. But it don't matter. They can run, but they can't hide. We will get justice for Kevin. We will get justice for Kevin.
Did you guys ever try to go to the courthouse though before, or was there ever a mention of a court injunction?
No, because we took them at their word. Safety was paramount. If safety is paramount, you saying that they're going to work with us.
In hindsight, did you wish that you would have gotten a court injunction?
Yeah, so look, we were in active communications to schedule an inspection with our team of experts.
And their lawyers.
Okay? And we trusted them on that was going to occur before this ride was ever reopened, so that we could all investigate and maybe even work together to find out any safety issues and make them right before the ride was reopened. And they didn't keep their word on that.
Is there still an opportunity for you guys to go back and try to get it shut down now, or is it?
Well, we hope that Universal hears the pleas of Kevin's family. But it's been made painfully obvious to Kevin's family. They believe it's about the bottom line. They don't think it's about Kevin's life or people's safety. I mean, you heard their words. This is, if that was your child, what message did Universal just send to this family? It was a slap in the face to them. Yeah. And you can best believe our legal team will be looking at all issues about them reopening this ride, and if that presents an issue of spoliation. And so we will make sure that Kevin gets justice. They will not get away with sweeping his life under the rug. Any other questions?
Attorney Crump, there's been some speculation that perhaps Mr. Rodriguez Zavala became unconscious, and then as a result, the ride may have been battered around. Are you looking into that theory, and if so, what do you believe the...
I'm so happy you asked that question. I'm so happy you asked that question. We believe there's video that exists. We have his eyewitness who was right there with them. We know he didn't lose conscious. But that's an important issue. Will we get to see the video? Will they be transparent? This is a multi-billion-dollar theme park. We know there are cameras everywhere. We know there's video everywhere in this advent of technology that we live in today. So we don't have to speculate. Hopefully they're going to be transparent.
Yeah, I'll just add one word to that. With roller coasters, intense roller coasters like this one worldwide, it's foreseeable that folks may become unconscious or faint or something like that, and we believe that the ride should be designed to account for that with better restraints, whether they be shoulder restraints or extra lap belts, not just a bar that comes down over your lap. So, yes, we are looking into that. Yeah, but yeah,
yeah, go ahead. We know he did not pass out.
Until he hit his head.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have the autopsy results very soon that we will share with you that will speak to that as well. Any other questions?
Yes, Monica from Support National News. I would like to know if anyone from Universal, any officials at all, have reached out to the family or to anyone since this has opened back up. I mean, since we've been here, has anyone heard from them at all in regards to anything?
Their lawyers talk to.
Yeah, look, I'm going to maintain the integrity of the communications with the lawyers, but no one from Universal has in any manner tried to reach out to this family through us or in any other manner to offer condolences or offer to share with us in the investigation. Not
Or
one.
to say that we're going to open back up this ride. We wanted you all to know before the public knew. No, they didn't give that courtesy to this family.
And you all, I just want to make sure I understand correctly. So you all were made aware of this opening on Friday?
No. We learned it from you all. We learned it from the media. That's why they say it was the ultimate disrespect. they feel disrespect, injury not just on top of, insult not just on top of injury, insult on top of death. It continues. Any last?
Just to be clear,
Yeah.
we thought we were planning an inspection.
Natalie, you want to talk in the mic?
I just want to be clear. We were in communications planning an inspection when this news came out that the roller coaster was going to reopen.
We said that back at the last press conference. Remember, we said we were going to work with them, and Attorney Grink, Attorney Jackson was going to be with our experts and inspect the ride. We never ever thought that they would have such blatant disrespect for Kevin Rodriguez Zavala's family.
And explanation of this evidence.
Mr. Crump, just so everyone is clear, yes or no, did Mr. Rodriguez Zavala have, quote, back, neck, or similar physical conditions?
What you mean? He was fine. He was disabled, but he was.
That's what the ride sign says.
No,
Yes or
no,
Did he-
no, no.
Answer that then. Can I answer that? The fact that people are asking that and knowing that he was in a wheelchair, that means that that was so vague that it was not a clear warning. So whether or not, he did not have any ongoing pain or anything like that. He had had a lifelong spinal disease and disorder. That was lifelong that he lived with. So there was nothing about being able to walk. There was nothing about being in a wheelchair. And they provided a chair, a transfer chair, and I want to be clear about that. They provided the transfer chair where he was able to get on the ride.
And forgive us for getting emotional, because you get close to the family, and it's disrespectful to them when they try to blame Kevin for his death, when he did absolutely nothing wrong. He did absolutely nothing wrong. If he is guilty of anything, it is that he trusted Universal Epic Studios to make sure he was safe on their roller coaster and that he wouldn't be unalived on their roller coaster. Any last questions?
You mentioned that you guys were going to hire an inspector. Could you talk about that inspector and any engineering firm you guys
No,
are
we
working
have several experts that we've retained that are waiting to come and inspect the ride.
Could you say any of those names that you might be working with at this time?
Not at this time, but they'll become readily available.
And they've been made known to Universal.
And they've been made known to Universal's lawyers.
And are they roller coaster experts?
There are a lot of the experts that have worked in, we think we got the best experts. They worked in tragic situations involving roller coasters, not only here with the Tyree Sampson case, when we represented his family in that tragic death, but also in other cases around Colorado. Had recently had a terrible death that just went to trial, so we're using those experts. We wanted to spare no expense at making sure we get the answers. And we're not a multi-billion-dollar corporation. If we can go the extra mile, wouldn't you think if Universal really meant, if they really were about saying safety is always and will be at the forefront of everything we do. If Universal really lived by that motto, couldn't they too go the extra mile for Kevin? Thank you. We'll keep you posted.
The family can just do a couple of questions in Spanish, just related to the opening of the roller coaster one more time, and also the new safety guys from the Epic, just in Spanish.
Well, we gave the statement in Spanish. Maybe we can talk about doing something separately.
Not like this.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
I wanted to ask one more question, if you don't mind. We saw over the weekend those long lines at the roller coaster. I mean, 150-minute wait. What would you say about that?
I think that's what it always was on that ride. It's nothing different.
But
And what I want to say, I pray all those people waiting for that ride don't end up like Kevin.